Hey, what's up? Welcome back to my art channel. Today I have another small space challenge. Now, this one has to do with my closet, my storage facility. And it's right off to my right. And the problem is I have one side with some cube shelves. And on the other side it was just a catch-all. It has everything, but I need some more organizations because as my portfolio grows, more, and I'm creating more prints and I have more issues of my books. I need more dedicated shelf space for each category, so I can be able to grab and go instead of sifting through things. So when I'm fulfilling an order, I can do so. So it's a small closet. So it requires a lot of thinking, right? Know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Or is it nah mean? Which one is it? Nah mean? Anyway, so I'm going to take out my trusty measuring tape. I'm going to go inside that room. We're going to measure and we're going to figure out how to create some more function in that space. And again, if you are an independent artist, if you sell prints, if you're an independent comic book artist like me, we have prints and comics and buttons and stickers and shirts, soon to be hats. Storage is huge, and I don't want to have it in the garage. I want it easy and go because I want this room to be set up as a one-stop shop. I want to be able to do this podcast, record my podcast, go over there and draw, go over here and do my commission art, print everything on that station, go to that closet and grab everything, just all in one little room. And it's not a big room. I think it's like 10 by 10 or 9 by 9. It's not a big room. So let's start and let's go into the closet and let's see what we can come up with, shall we? And oh, mind you, I have a small budget. I don't want to go more than $75 for a shelving unit for that room. So I'm going to be looking really hard for something within my price range. Let's do this. All right, so here we go. The first thing I have to do is empty out half of my closet, the one side where I need to create more function. And you don't realize how much you have in storage until you have to take it back out, because over time, little by little, things just start accumulating. I've had 8 Kickstarters. I've printed books for conventions. I've had a lot of commission requests and print requests. So you wind up just stacking and stacking and stacking. So this took quite a bit of time. Good thing that we have time lapse, so I can just keep it moving and get it going. So that was the fun part. And then now we just have to start to really measure the space and determine how much space I need to work with in order to create more function. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm measuring the width of the room and the height. I don't want to go too high, but I do know that I have to remove that hanging bar off the shelf in order to move forward with adding a new bookshelf. So that hanging bar is being relocated downstairs to the hallway closet where I need to create space for my clothing, because I still have clothing that I haven't unpacked, but that's another story. So that's what I'm doing here. I get the bar off, and then now I have to go and find myself a 5-tier bookshelf. I'm looking for at least 5 tiers. Pretty high, at least 5 feet tall is what I'm looking for. So, and again, remember, my budget's $75. I don't want to go higher, but if I can go lower, I will. And so it's just looking for the right dimensions. So while I might see the price range, the dimensions might not work for me. So I just kept looking and looking and looking until I came across this one item, and I wound up going to, it's called a Yumali Cube Storage. It's 5-tier. So I saw that and I was like, whoa, $27.99? This is impossible. I looked at the dimensions. It was just perfect for what I needed at the time. So I said, all right, let's grab it, let's go, and let's get this party started. So there it is in that small box. That was the part that surprised me the most. But so as usual, you have to put everything together. So that's what I'm doing now. It's just figuring out, number one, the instructions. And like I did in the last episode, I missed something. So somewhere along the line, as I'm building this 1 million piece, Jenga, Rubik's Cube bookshelf, I missed a step, and so I had to take things apart and redo it, which was a little frustrating. But it's also the fun part. So when you're coming up with trying to find ways and solutions to make things more functional, these are the things you have to do, and this is why it's cost effective, right? So I saved, my budget's $75. I paid $27.99 free shipping, so I didn't pay for shipping. So with tax, I think it was like $32 or whatever. So $32, right? So I saved about 40 something dollars, right? $48 maybe, or maybe $45. So I saved money, which if you can save, it's a huge win. Now I do know that when I started putting this together, I was a little nervous, because these are hollow aluminum pipes with a fabric as a shelf. Now I'm sure if you're just putting boxes on the shelves, you don't need the fabric. But if you're having comics like I am and you want to lay them flat or whatever, the fabric comes in handy so they don't fall in between the gaps. So I know that I was a little nervous. I said, man, I saved a lot of money for this. Is it worth it, considering what my outcome in mind is? And but I said, let me just roll with it. I'm already here. Don't need to look back. Let's move forward and let's just get this thing built. But while we're at it, this is a great time to talk to you about There's an Alien in My Toilet, book number 4, Gotcha, coming to Kickstarter. And I would love for you to join the party. We have homage covers, and there's a whole lot of fun going on with There's an Alien in My Toilet. His name is Duty. He's from the planet Uranus. I've created his character back in 2005, and I hope that you come along for the ride. My Kickstarter launches January 3rd, and I'd love for you to sign up today and get yourself a copy of There's an Alien in My Toilet and support my dream with my book. So one of the things that I find very important for anything I do is function. I mean, everything I do, from when I'm packing for events, when I am setting up my art station, whatever it is I'm doing, I need to make sure that it makes sense for me. And so I moved in to this home a year ago, and I didn't want to rush into trying to come up with solutions for the room. I wanted to wait till I broke it in, and I figured out how the space is going to work best for me. So when I initially laid out the stations, I just said, all right, my draft table, my digital draft table, my Cintiq is going to be on one side of the room, and my podcasting station on the other side. And that was about it. And then I would put my action figures in the bookshelf and my frames in the wall and just go. Now, as I continue to work, you start learning, this would be better if this was here. Because your habits, right? You start figuring out your habits. You see where I tend to reach to my right? So I'm always looking towards my right. So what do I want my pens? What do I want my inks? What do I want my remote controls? What do I want the things that, I just wanted at arm's reach? On my left, that's where I have controllers, right? Anything that I'm operating, like with the podcast, I have my Rodecaster Pro on my left, and I have all my devices on my left. And that's just the way that I operate. So when I walked into the closet, initially it was a catch-all. I started out with a metal tier frame on one side, and I said, okay, now that I'm starting to expand, now that I'm starting to get more orders, now that my Kickstarters have been consistent, I need to have a better function out of this closet. And it's not a huge closet, as you can see. So the more I worked in the closet and kept going in and out, the more I realized I need to be able to have this at arm's length. I need to be able to see this when I walk in. I need to put my number one prints at the top, and my number one covers at the top, and then and that's my thought process. But in order for that to happen, I needed to find a solution, and this is where I came up with I needed something simple, something that's not going to break the bank, something that I can actually go and create and break it down easy. I mean, that shelf unit, I can move it anywhere. It's so light, and so just break it down, put it up, assemble it, and then keep going from there. So I think that's what my recommendation to anybody out there, if when you're whatever space that you have, first break it in. First figure out, get the rhythm going, you know, and once you start learning about how you operate, you'll start realizing, oh man, I need a solution for this, or I need a solution for that. And then do your homework. You know, Pinterest is a great resource for looking at how people set up their spaces, because then it'll help you generate ideas for your space, right? Because sometimes, you know, you can't see the forest through the trees. So here we are at the end of the build, and there it is. And now it's time to get it into the closet. Squeeze it into that closet. Can it fit? That's the question. Will it fit? The only way to find out is by moving it in. And look how easy it was to just move it in. It's so light. It's so easy I mean, you've seen the box. It's just empty pipes and drape. And there it is. Like a glove. Okay, really quick. I just had to do this. If you would have told me that this would come in this, I would never believed you. When I saw this box, I thought it was a mistake. I was like, wait, what's going on? There's no way I'm going to have a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cube, 5-tier shelf in this box. $27. Best investment ever. So it fits perfectly. It gives me enough space to have my banner stands on the side and do what I need to do with my prints and my other comics. So one other thing, you know, when I have a desk space, right? And it's a counter. And the counter is, I'm going to measure right now as we're talking. The counter is about 18 inches deep, right? So it doesn't give me much room, surface room. So I have 2 remote controls because I have the big monitor up there and I have this other monitor on the side, which require remote controls. So I was trying to figure out, you know, every time I put the monitor away, it blocks my mouse. And if I have something to drink, it just becomes a tug of war. Like everyone's like trying to get my attention. So I said I needed to find something. So for a couple of bucks, I went on to Amazon and I found this. These are magnets. So here it is. Here is my solution. This magnet, you put a magnet here and it goes right onto the frame of my desk. It's not on my surface. It's not in my way. And it's another easy way to create function. So that way you can have all your tools and it's right here. So when I come in, I just pop, turn on that monitor, you know, this one right here, pop, turn on this monitor, and makes it easy. So there's always cost-effective ways to create function. We just gotta find it, right? All right, so I think I solved my problem with creating function in a small space, and that's in that closet. You know, my issue was my inventory is growing. I have more titles, so I want to be able to see the covers, and I want to have them all organized by cover and by category. And so, how can I do that with a limited space? So it's almost like the philosophy of, you know, residential buildings, right? More people are coming into a small island like New York City, and so they can't spread out, so they had to build up, right? So what works? Shelving units. And as you can see, this cost, I spent $27.99 on this unit. $27.99. I had a budget of $75. I didn't want to go high over the $75. But man, I saved a whole lot of money. So if you take your time to just keep searching and searching and searching, you'll find that price that's within your budget. So I didn't break the bank with this. I just wanted something that's easy to assemble. Not so much, but it's pretty lightweight, very lightweight. You can pick up the whole shelf and run with it down the block, you know, and never lose a stride. But it worked, and so I'm excited about that. So I had a problem, needed more space for my inventory. Had a solution. I found this unit. I had a budget. I went underneath the budget. And so the next time I come back, I will show you the end product, because remember, I promised you to give you my storage tour along with my office tour. But I'm still tweaking the office, which is why I haven't done a studio tour yet, an official for this art channel, because I'm still tweaking some things. There's some more shelving that I want and more functionality. But one of the biggest things that I think I love the most is this right here, the magnet with the for the remotes. It just works perfectly. out of my way. It just works seamlessly. And the last time when I put the art table there, it worked amazingly. So I hope that you enjoyed this, you gained something from it, and you know, I think the biggest message is you don't have to spend a lot to create space and create function. And sometimes just a small investment and with a big solution. So with that said, if you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Leave a comment below. What did you like about this episode? What would you like to see more of down the road? And help support this channel by subscribing, and help support what I do by buying one of my books or one of my hoodies or a print. It goes a long way to help me keep doing this, because it takes a lot of time to produce these videos and edit these videos. But I love doing it, and I love the fact that you come back every week to watch it. So you guys remember, big dreams, big ideas mean nothing if you don't believe in yourself. So believe in yourself. You're worth it, and keep shooting for the stars. You guys have a great day.